I am so excited to be welcoming the mom dynamic duo and hilarious besties, Cat and Nat, to the Mom Existence today. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so excited. I know you both just like blew in. It's like a Friday morning rush. We've got our coffees, but we're doing it.
I don't usually I'm looking at myself. I look like such a pop tart right now, but I'm gonna roll with it. I'm like, it's like
Chloe,
I
really
think it's
good.
my daughter's tank top I'm in and a wet bra from working out and um sweaty armpits. So yeah.
And then there's just a bunch of kids outside playing hockey.
Okay, I like that. This is like very a realistic morning, I'm assuming, for both of you. And now
Yes.
that it's August, like we're in full swing of summer, is there anything that you love about having summers with your children, or are you looking forward to like jumping back into the swing of September and school?
Oh my gosh. So, like, we are, one thing is a lot of people that we know, they send their kids away to sleepover camp. And
Mm.
even if it's for like 1 week or 2 weeks, and then we've got a lot that go away for the whole summer, and then they become like, leadership count, like junior counselors and counselors. So they're gone for the whole summer. So we tried to send our kids away to sleepover camp and they had a really good time. But then when we
We all
asked,
came back. No one's gone. Everyone's here.
you
They
guys,
don't leave us.
you want to go again? No. And everyone's like, that's so weird. Everyone loves camp. And they joked, they're like, you guys do too many fun things that they don't want to go away. But obviously we love making the memories and spending time with them because like the school year is so hectic with school and then all the extracurriculars that like you don't have a long period of time and sit and talk with them. And because our kids are now a bunch getting older, we're starting to be like, there's not that much time left because, once my daughter will be going to university after next year, then
Mm.
she'll come home, she'll work all summer, and there won't be these times of just like sitting around and doing nothing.
It's kind of terrible sometimes though. So I mean it's a catch 22. Sometimes you're like, oh my God, but then in overall you're so happy you have time with them. So I mean, we love structure. We love the time off. Isn't it a nice balance to have both? Like, I'm so thankful that we're ready for the time off. We're ready for them to go back to school.
I feel like that is what a lot of parents say. And when you're used to being more routine oriented or a certain schedule, that is nice, but obviously it is tiring too. Until I have a son, just one, and he's only 2.5. But I only until recently hearing my friends talk about how hard it is to be a working mom or parent in the summer and then trying to manage kids not being in school. Like that's a whole other,
They
job
have
in
to plan.
itself.
They have to
Yeah.
plan and schedule and have like charts. And because, no, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I also feel like it's kind of like my mom, like I would spend my summers mostly with my mom because she worked for the school board, so she had the summers off. And we've always been around like with our kids for the summer. But for the kids who have to, like, their parents work normal, and have to go, and the parents have to plan something for every single week. I feel like some of those kids might be like, it's not fair.
I don't. I think there's some kids who are better at being busy, and I think we really debunk. Like we make moms feel bad about keeping their kids busy, and I think there are kids who are just better people when they're doing things, and I think there's other kids who are good at having free time, and I think it's okay if your kid needs to be busy and programmed and structured. That's okay. Like we don't, endless summers aren't for every kid, and I think that we have done a disservice to moms to think that all kids are okay with 2 months of idle time. I don't think that that's normal that's not the case for everybody.
No, most people it's not. I don't think most moms can handle that. I think that
And
like
kids can't handle it. Some
putting
kids
them,
just love to be busy. Like they love it. They're like little puppies.
it's really rare that anyone has any kid just having idle time these days.
Well, we have
That's
lots of
true.
idle time.
So would you guys say your vibe is more routine schedule oriented, or are you more go with the flow, or both
In the
different?
summer, we're pretty good with the flow.
Because we're
Nice.
not organized enough to plan
You're at the
anything in
pool.
advance.
You're at
We've got
yoga.
the pool, and also sometimes I'm like, I played this game with myself over the years, like, okay, I could schedule them and I could put them in something, but if I can just endure them for a week, I could save that much money. And I'm like, one more week without them being scheduled is a week I don't have to pay for them to be in camp because camp's expensive too.
And then you get to an age and they work. So they make money. So it's ebbs and flows, but we've just figured it out and we go with the flow.
Do you think that you still experience mom guilt the same way you did when they were, say, like babies or toddlers? Is it changed? Does it get worse? Is it the same?
I think it changes because you have less time to think and they tell you everything they think. So you don't really have to. I think that guilt changes to maybe like concern, or not concern, but like you don't have time for those feelings as much because you are parenting them. You're not taking care of them anymore. So when you parent them, you have to constantly, there's a dialogue always. So when they're older and you leave, they still call you all the time. You never step away. When they're younger and you leave, you step away.
Mm.
But we're on lockdown with them all the time, unfortunately. And I think that guilt, I think maybe I can imagine you might get guilt in hindsight when they're leaving. And I'm sure guilt comes back when they're going to college or university and you're like, "Oh my God, I wish I had." We don't spend time doing that, but yet. But I think I can imagine there's just no time for guilt right now.
And I honestly, like, I remember when the kids were young too. We talked a lot about mom guilt, and I remember being like, I don't really, I wouldn't, I mean, I guess you could say some of my thoughts are guilt, but I don't sit and I don't feel guilty because I always felt like I I acknowledge that we as moms, no matter what, are doing so much all the time. Like, I'm not doing less that I'm capable of. So I'm just, at the end of the day, proud of myself that everybody's at home, everyone's had food, everyone's in bed. Like,
They also gaslight you. So you begin to question yourself rather than feel guilty. You're like, wait, am I right? Are they right? Like guilt turns to questioning. Like you're like,
Mm.
wait a minute. Wait, am I doing, are we screwing you up? Like, are we okay? Like you begin to question rather than feel guilty. That's what I would say. Guilt becomes questioning.
I like how you put that into perspective of as they get older and then the communication level changes or they're able to give you their thoughts or ask you questions. Because right now my son can talk a lot and really well, but he can't, sometimes he wants me to come with him or whatever, but he can't communicate the fact that, he's going to daycare today and not staying home, you know?
mhm,
Actually, he also loves you so
I
much.
hope
You
so.
can do no wrong.
yeah.
For us, that's not the case anymore.
Mm.
Like
The
they
innocence is
love us,
gone.
but the love is the connection when you're parenting, sorry, when you're taking care of them is very different than when you're parenting them, because
Mm.
when you parent them, you do the connection is not as because you get mad at them and you have to, parent them. So you don't have the bond of when they're little.
Mm. Okay, I'll
You
hold
have the
on to
bond,
this.
just different. They're not nooking into your bosom. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not,
they don't, like, rely on you 24/7. Okay, one other
no.
question I have for you guys is how often do people confuse who's cat and who's Nat or, like, had no idea which one's which? Does that
They
happen
just, they
a
just
lot?
call us cat and nat.
Yeah.
Literally, hi cat and nat. It's cat and nat.
Yeah.
If we're alone,
Hi,
it's
Cat and
And
Nat.
I'm
hi
like,
cat and
I
nat.
know Natalie, well, if you're watching on YouTube, is in the black, Cat is in the pink, but
We don't
I
care.
feel
We're
like
two
you
blonde
almost
moms.
associate you guys so much together. It's
Yeah.
like I was second guessing myself. I'm like, which one's
Yeah.
which?
Oh
You know what I
yeah.
Yeah.
mean? You're just like it. I don't know. It's funny, but I'm
No.
assuming that happens to you guys all the
Do you have
time.
siblings, Ashley?
I have a older brother.
So when you're a mom and you have and it's busy, you just call all the kids' names out and sometimes the friends' names too. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever you are. And I feel like that's what happens with us. It's just like, because our names are kind of one.
Yeah.
So often when you're talking about your kids, it's kind of one. And
Oh,
so you
yeah.
just mix them all up. It's kind of the same thing, I feel, because we're
Yeah,
always
like
together, like your kid, so you're like, whoever the fuck you are.
I'm
yeah,
actually,
someone respond.
I'm definitely getting to a place where I'm losing my mind more when I was yelling at my kids, and they all start with T, so it's like really hard to get it
Hmm.
out properly. And people are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I don't remember which one." I'm like, "I don't either." And I was yelling at them, and I called out my little brother's name, and I was like, "Oh wow, like we have really lost it." But if they say Cat and Nat, like I don't expect you to know. It's a title for both, and it's
Yeah,
fine. And
we'll
if you call me
respond.
Cat, I don't care.
I'm
I
fair
love
there.
that. Thank you.
But sometimes, what I want the sweater Cat was wearing, and I'm like, do you mean that? Because I wasn't wearing. Those are the times where we just clarify, not to be jerks, but to be like, I was which one from a few weeks ago or yesterday? So that's the only time we get which one?
That's funny. Okay, I want to go back to the moment. I feel like, Nat, I read about you were alone at home. I'm assuming it was your first baby, counting down the minutes and hours until your husband walked through the door, So relatable. And then you saw something on social media that Kat also had, I don't know, 1 or 2 kids
Mhm.
at the time.
Mhm.
And you guys knew each other from high school. You weren't, morphed into the dynamic duo that you are today. But what did you do when you reached out and like how did you guys kind of start to develop that friendship and that
Actually, good
connection?
homework. That was good homework. Good for
I
you. That was
try. I
very
can't.
We
I'm
have to
like a
tell that story.
that was
researcher.
very good. I'm very impressed that you found that story.
I try.
Yeah, no, it's exactly right. It was just like it was, wasn't what I expected it to be, and so I felt really lonely, and I wanted somebody who had a baby the same age as mine.
Her Tinder profile was looking for someone.
And I knew we'd kept in touch over the
Sister
years.
wife.
Yes, we kept in touch over the years, but we weren't super close. But like I'd seen her before she was about to get married. We'd gone for lunch, and then I was just like, I think I was like pregnant. I told her I'm like, just have a baby. And she's like, I got.
You were so pregnant.
And she's like, I gotta wait here. I have a wedding in Sweden, whatever. Anyways, that didn't work out, and she did get pregnant. And then when I was like, oh my god, she had a baby, I was like, oh, please, just please, can we just? Because I knew that like we really liked each other. We just hadn't spent like every day together, but I knew it would be easy with her because sometimes meeting new moms, it's a whole thing. It's like, there's the I don't know her background. I don't know her. I don't know what her judgment level is, but I knew that she was like me. So I was like, can you just
She'll work out.
she fits.
She's actually a good one.
So I told her to
Swipe
come
right
over with
or
her
left,
with her
whatever way it is.
baby. And then we
Mine
realized
was 6 weeks. I was 6 weeks out. 6 weeks, and I was miserable.
oh,
Miserable.
In the
she
trenches.
came over, and then we were like, I still remember that when we would go to her house, we'd feed the kids dinner together because we'd never wanted to be alone. And then I remember like like right before the husbands came home, we would separate. Like I remember that chicken you put in the oven at your own house. And it was like she was starting the dinner, and then I was like, okay, bye. And then we'd go home, and then they would, and when they came home, often the kids were like bathed, fed, and ready for a kiss goodnight, right? So we didn't have our partners to be there, so we became each other's partners.
No, that's fair. I feel like I had a friend. We were friends before. We became closer through our pregnancy, and then our sons are only 2 weeks apart. So we hung out all the time, every single day. We could walk to each other's homes in about I don't know, like 10-ish minutes. But then she's from Australia, so on their like her husband got a pat leave. She was on her mat leave. They went to Australia for 3 months, and I almost like wanted to die because I was like my person who is also the most honest like you guys, she would voice stuff on our walk saying like, do you regret this, like this is so hard, like I don't like this, and all these things that I was thinking. This is what's like spun up the podcast essentially, is like, oh my god, I'm not a bad mom, I'm not a bad person, she thinks that too, this is normal, why aren't people talking about this, right? Like I was blindsided, I had no idea. But if you do not have a friend that you connect with, whether they're someone you're just meeting, someone you've known, whoever, whatever, but you do need someone to be in like literal hell with for weeks and months, right? Like I feel like I've only just come out of that.
I know. Well, actually, the thing is, like, exactly why we started what we're doing now and why you started doing your podcast is that sometimes that friend never comes home from Australia, and she never finds another like Ashley, and she needs these kind of conversations, these kind of podcasts, because, and then there's people who move around, or there's just hard, sometimes it's hard to make friends. And so many people have said to us, like, your conversation, your relationship, someone said to me just this past week, I was like, sometimes you just, you're like, do we really still want to hear this stuff? Do we want to talk? And she was like, can you and Kat please never stop? Because like, I've been watching you since you had babies. Now my kids are your age. And every time you say something in the different like stages, she's like, I need you, because her friend is in Singapore.
Oh,
so she's like, I can't talk to her every day, but I can talk to you guys every day. So if people don't have them out there, that's what we're all doing, is just
we get to voyeur into other people's lives and see that we're normal.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of the beauty of social media. Obviously, there's a lot of challenges with it because now you're seeing, oh, this is how you nap. This is what you should be feeding. This is what you should be doing, all this stuff, which makes it so hard on moms and parents. Yeah. But I feel like having voices like what you guys put out there, what other people put out there in like actual reality of what parenting is a breath of fresh air in the midst of all the aesthetic, like
And remember,
things.
some people will find certain parts really easy that you won't. And that's not a lie and that's not bad. That's just what is their experience. And then others will find different parts challenging. So it's so great that there's different voices so people can relate to what that experience is, because we all are in different journeys. Everyone has different kids. We have had different stages and ages that are challenging, and it never changes the challenges, but kids change with the challenges, right? So sometimes one kid is like cruising and then you wake up and you're like, oh god, this one needs help. So I think that it's great. There's no competition in motherhood. It really is, who do you identify with and how can you validate what you're feeling, because there's someone out there that you need to hear that is feeling the same way as you.
It's so true. And I was just like thinking, like, if you just happen to be in a group of like a small group of moms or a couple of moms on your street and you just really don't relate to the way that they're parenting, to be able to find all these different voices. Like she said, like now you can search for, let's say there's the mom who's just like, I am obsessed with newborn babies. It is like, I've heard like my siblings, they're like having a new baby. It's just, my baby's so easy. And it's just like, it's, they sleep and then I just love playing with them. And I'm like, for me, if I was only around someone like that, I'd probably feel shitty about myself. So I need to find someone who feels the way I feel. And with all these voices on social media and different personalities, you can find the one that relates to you.
I think it's also, I want to touch upon men quickly, because I think it's really great for men to also see on their algorithm what they're experiencing with their wives or their partners, because I think so often they don't talk. So we're all talking and they're just thinking something's wrong with their relationship or with them. But I'm seeing more and more men now being able to talk via Instagram reels or TikTok shares. And I heard my husband on a call the other day, and someone obviously mentioned ADHD and perimenopause, and he's like, "Oh, that is full on in my head." Like, they were able to share that conversation, and I think it's really great that we're having more open conversations, whether it's through humor, whether it's through like despair, of like humorous despair, whatever it is. I think it is great that we're all more open and there's so many voices to hear. Sometimes too many, but you can dial it in.
Yeah,
you can unfollow who you don't like.
That's right. One of my friends once said, I think it was her mom told her, big kids, big problems, little kids, little problems. And as your kids are now getting older, I listened to a recent, I think it was like last week or the week before, podcast of your guys talking about like the whole cell phone, social media thing, because you're trying to navigate that. And that is something, even though my son's so little, that I'm absolutely terrified for. I have older nieces and nephews. The oldest is 17, and then like between 10 and 17. And like they love their smartphones and they love being connected and talking to their friends. And it's like, I'm 38. So I was raised on like ICQ, MSN Messenger. We saw all those things come into our lives. But now it is so different. These generations are being raised with social media, with laptops, smartphones, tablets from a young age. Like, how do you guys feel about this? And what advice do you have for people out there who are confused on what to do? I know they could listen to your podcast on this, but
I actually have a problem. I have two problems. One, I hate that we're shaming parents so hard for cell phones, and there seems to be no solutions. It's like every time you open your phone, it's like you're basically giving them crack cocaine. And for parents where we were in COVID and they got in trouble for not being on their phones, okay, and on their devices. So I just think that we all need to take a breath. Parenting is the exact same online versus in real life. We just don't know how to do it online because we don't know the world they live in. This is not to push the common parent, but we have created a step-by-step guide of how to put in settings, what to look for, what you might not know. And listen, it changes daily because your algorithm is different than my algorithm, your kid's algorithm. But if you just open your eyes and understand that you have control over the situation, it's not just I'm never giving to them, I'm not doing this, I'm not, because really a lot of parents work full time and they have lower income, and it's not possible for them to not have a child with a device. And everyone says, oh, just give them a dummy device where they can dial. I have a kid who would never be able to dial a phone or a text from a phone because of his processing issues. He needs to talk to text. He needs these devices. So let's all stop shaming. Let's take a deep breath. Parenting, we can parent them. online, there's settings, there's securities, there's all the things we can do. We just have to execute what we're doing. We just are lazy in parenting right now. And I'm just so disappointed. Like, kids aren't bad. Oh, not all kids are addicted. Not all kids get affected by social media like other ones. You know your kid. You know what I mean? And if you're seeing changes in behavior, then yeah, let's do something about it.
And we created the guide, and it's like we made it for ourselves, and then we hear all these conversations, and so we were like, let's put it into one guide that people can get, and then they can feel like us, because you never want to feel like, how you said, I am frightened of this for the future. You don't want to be a frightened parent. You want to be informed, and you want to feel good, and you want to feel like you understand, and that you've put yourself in the best position that you can. Kat and I always try to like find joy and fun in parenting, but if we spend all of our time feeling guilty or scared, then it's going to be really hard to enjoy the time, and the time does go by fast.
And this is not, we don't, when someone gets a phone is each family's decision. This is not like pro phone, no phone, like that is up to you as individuals. But I think that if they have one, and they will have one eventually, or they will have access to one at a friend's house, they're going to have access. So what are you doing to teach them in the conversations they're having? If they see something, if they stumble upon something, what are those conversations you're having with them? Because a lot of parents don't even know what the possibilities are. Like, I can't tell you how many people are like, what Snapchat? And I'm like, okay, right? So it's like, that's the form of communication your kid is on. So like, I think that we just need to, when I say we made a resource, it's 140 pages, because we go step by step of pictures of like, step one, go here, circle the thing. Like we showed, because I think it's really hard to go back and forth between videos and be like, what's the setting? We just get overwhelmed. There's so much. So we made it for us who don't have a big attention span and don't have time to go through it all.
But I love what you said, Kat, because it is true. We have to, I guess, there's no way around it. And we have to learn, both as a parent and children, to like adopt, just like our generations, like before, our grandparents and our parents, we've all had to adopt, having access to more technology over time. Obviously, it's different now, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And you do need to, just like you don't, let them go drive a vehicle without understanding how and the rules and,
Yeah.
the laws.
10,000 hours or
Yeah,
whatever
I
on the
think
thing.
people just are oblivious to what their kids might be doing, that they're waking up maybe at 3 in the morning. Like, maybe don't let that happen. Like, if they're
Yeah,
10,
no,
like, maybe
don't, no,
that's
not
not
maybe.
healthy.
Don't let that happen.
Yeah,
Like,
that should
that's
be
not
a
even a
rule.
maybe. Don't. Like, you wouldn't let them walk out the door at 3. You would have a curfew.
Mhm.
If your kid is
But I
13,
don't
they
think
have a
people
curfew.
realize that type, I've seen interviews, you guys have probably seen them too, where they'll interview teenagers about social media, and they'll come clean about kind of what their usage looks like, or it's been monitored, and then they review it and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm waking up multiple times a night checking my phone." Like, that is not a healthy habit.
No, but you can see it as a parent on their phone.
Right.
So
If you have these things, yeah.
let's start parenting them. This is not like, it's not rocket science. We just don't feel like we have permission to parent them, which blows my mind, because you'd never let your 5-year-old walk out the door without telling them how to cross the street. But
Mhm.
we are like, here you go. It's the same thing. It's
Yeah.
just we have to teach, we have to learn. And I think a lot of parents are overwhelmed because we don't even understand. They're living in a world we didn't grow up in.
Mhm. I feel that way sometimes about TV. And I don't know why I feel
Yeah.
guilty about, like, my son. Again, he's 2.5, but he loves to watch, he'll literally beg truck show, or Blippy, and he just wants to watch these
Yeah.
things, and, like, I let him. He's not sitting there for 2 hours, like, it's probably 20 minutes at a time. He
Yeah.
gets to sit, brings him joy, and I'm like, "Is this
I
harmful? I don't
remember
think
that.
so."
I remember when we had little kids, and everyone was like so worried about how much
TV.
Screen
screen time, but it was
time.
the TV, like how close they are to the TV. And it's so funny, like I haven't heard that in so long, because now I feel like it's always the iPad and the phone, because even little kids are given the iPads and the phones. But I totally remember that. I remember babysitting kids, even like back in the day, and the parents would be like 10 minutes of TV, and I was babysitting. I was like, oh, what am I going to do with them for the rest of the day? And I'd always like kind of like interrupt the 10 minutes and then restart again, so that if like the parents came in, I'm like, oh, well, we never actually finished the 10 minutes.
And Ashley, just remember that the iPad and the iPhone, it's like a lean-in experience where it's
Mhm.
just them and this. a TV is a lean out, so they're seeing the world. And
Yes.
there was an English teacher that gave one of our kids an assignment to watch full TV shows,
Mhm.
because
Hard.
it teaches them
Interpersonal
and,
relationships.
and it teaches them skills that they don't get from 15 seconds. So a skill of watching a 30-minute show
Yes.
is
That's
actually
hilarious.
really important, and it teaches them feelings, and it teaches them beginning, middle,
And
end. So it
it's
teaches
so-
them an arc.
It's so true.
You go
Especially
with your bad self and your TV.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
watch a series
I mean,
of
I like
television.
watching a TV show, so I don't blame him, right?
Yeah.
And I asked my mom about that too. I'm like, "Is this fine?" She's like, "Oh, you guys watch Sesame Street or whatever. Like, it's fine. He's happy. Look at him. Like, he's
I was
relaxed."
watching Young and the Restless at 4 years old with my nanny who smoked in the room.
Yeah.
in
And you're
in her
fine.
bedroom. I'm not joking.
Take a
'cause
look at her now.
Yeah.
Kindergarten was half day, and I would have to go home and sit there in her room with she'd smoke at the window, and I'd watch Young and the Restless.
Oh gosh.
Now you'd be in
So
jail.
became a cop, but I was like, this is out. My
That's
parents were
hilarious.
like, oh, so you're watching, you're being babysat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're still breathing. No, but that is so true. And I don't know. And again, it comes into the noise of other parents or social media, whatever, that these things are inundated and you have them in the back of your mind. But like, if your
Yeah.
child is happy and safe and you're surviving, I remember I had Kate McKenna on. I don't know if you know her from The Social. I'm sure you do, but she was saying it's like you can't win. You either spend an hour trying to prepare a really beautiful, healthy meal for your children, right? And
Yeah.
you let them maybe on a device or watch a show so you can do that. Or you're going and grabbing takeout, ordering fast food so that you can spend more quality time with them and them not be on a device or watching a show. But then you're not a good parent because you're not making a homemade meal. It's like you can't win.
Oh God, these conversations. I know it's so hard.
But it's like we micro parent, right? And you
Yeah.
got to look big picture. Like if we just get them fed, and they're really, if they're happy, the rest does not matter, because everybody will do it differently. Everybody will do it differently.
And because we have so many kids, it's really funny to watch how we have realized through the years what's actually important and what's not. Like we were talking yesterday on our podcast about our eldest girls, and just there wasn't a moment that they lived their lives that we didn't consider, and then on to our fourth and third, and just like I don't even know where they are half
Yeah.
the time.
And they're the most confident
Yeah.
of all of them. So, but you got to earn the experience. And I think,
Yeah.
I think that as motherhood, as you grow, you begin to learn. As you age, you begin to let things go.
Yeah.
And I think that, it's all part of the process, and you can say you want to be different, but you can't, because you got to kind of learn it. Right. And then all you can do is do your best and know that I always say this, and I'll say this forever. Your kids want nobody different. So they go to bed. They don't want a different mom, just how you're doing it right now, with doing nothing different. They want you. So I don't know why we're all trying to be different, because ultimately they just want all of you. That's it. They don't care what you cook, because they don't know any different. They're not going to Jimmy, Sally, and Johnny's house every day to compare your food. They're going
Until
to
they're
you.
like 18 and they're like, why aren't you making this?
You know
Mom?
what? That's the village, and that's what's amazing. My kids love when Natalie cooks, and they get excited about it. So it's like it doesn't matter, because they don't want Natalie because she cooks better. They still want me. Maybe they want her a lot of the time, but it doesn't matter.
But what they really love is like, and not that you have to fake it, but you have to try and find it, is they like to see their moms happy. And so you don't have to be happy all the time, but if you can find a space to
Serve those butter noodles with a smile. You know what I mean? Like that's what they want. They want to see you laughing, not stressing about a 5-course meal that you think is healthy.
Because they don't want to worry, because they're going to worry about you.
Yeah,
right?
they will. They'll shoulder it, and then you'll be in therapy. So don't let it go. Just be you.
This is a good reminder for me and everyone listening, I'm sure, because you guys have been through it. So how do you keep your friendship so strong? You work together, you're on tour, you do all the things, 7 kids. How do you guys stay like connected? And is there anything that
So
gets
last
under
year-
your skin with each other?
Last year we went to Santa Barbara for fun. Okay,
Ooh.
we went to LA, and
What was that? You had made an excuse though.
we had to go to. We got invited to Chrissy Teigen's house to go to this really cool party. Okay, so we were like, okay. They were like, come. She's doing the launch, and it was actually her house, and she was cooking, and we're like, okay, we'll go to.
We were like to our family, this is a very important work meeting.
So we go early, and we really haven't traveled for not work, really, except with the kids. So we went to Santa Barbara and we stayed at a really nice hotel and we went bike riding and we like literally laughed. And I was like, this is where it started, because I'm like, we need to do more trips like this. It's freaking expensive. But it was so fun. And I was like, that's what friendship is, right? Like, I think just like parenthood, it gets so slammed. But then when we go on tour, when we come to Halifax and Moncton, we will laugh, we will have fun, we will eat out, we will let it go. Like, we're actually making this night for us and all of you, but like mostly for all of us, like just to go and let go.
It's like we created like tour was really like we want to be able to, we deserve a night out and to have fun and let go, and like how can we make this happen? Then people were like, we want that too. We're like, okay. And like years ago we're like, let's just host like a night that would have everything we would want if we could have a night out, and always encourage people to like spend the night out that night too if they can. And so yeah, we're so excited that we get to do that on the 21st and 22nd in Moncton, Halifax, but also we're with each other every single day. And I know that sometimes when you're further away from your friends, sometimes it takes more conscious like effort and work, but like we can't be not connected. We're together
We
every
text each
day.
other in the morning, at night. If she doesn't hear from me, she's like, "Do you miss me?" I'm like, "Do you miss me?" And then I like
FaceTime during making dinner, like it's just,
bathroom breaks together.
I love that.
Yeah, no, it's not really like,
doesn't-
do you have to try?
no, it's really just it's a natural like friendship and partnership.
Yeah.
When did you guys realize that that was, you guys had more than just a friendship, that you wanted to collaborate, start your
Natalie,
podcast?
So
Is
funny
this a
you
good
say
story?
this. I think we just talked about this. I said that it's like she inherently, is that the word? She deep down knew that she needed something more, because if she doesn't, she gets so consumed by whatever's just in front of her. So if it's just kids, then that would be her only thing she would do. So it's like she stole me, and then we had like babies, and she wasn't medicated yet, and like like we were just I can't imagine what our conversations were, but they would have we just walked and
we were reverberating.
and
Is that
like
the word? We would like be shaking in
like
parenting.
eat nuts, and like we would go get trail mix, and like we'd go to like just we had missions of like getting food for that day, and like cutting up avocado.
Every moment was scheduled, like
because like then you had nap jail, and it was like she was like, now let's do something, we got to do more, and I'm like, I can barely breathe here. We have 5 children in strollers, like you and me are like, you're in like she used to wear like boots and pearls and lasers, and I'm like messy, and she finally got down to my level, but I was like, I'm hanging on here, girl. And then she kept doing it and doing it. I was like, fine, we'll do something. And I feel like she needed to do something in order to self-preserve. And I feel like if she didn't self-preserve, I think she knew she'd lose herself more and more and more. And I was like, fine, we'll do it. It's like she held on and couldn't let go of the fact that we had to do something. So she pushed us into doing it, and then we did it, and here we are.
And I got the perfect partner.
I was like, fine.
It must have been destiny that like she had the baby when I had the baby, and we found each other, because like Ashley, you're so great for having a podcast like alone. I know you have guests, but that's really hard what you're doing, and I don't think I could do. I couldn't do it alone. So it just,
here we are.
You know
Thank
what?
God.
It's similar, well, not to the extent, obviously, and she's not a mom, but I have a podcast with my best friend, and we've kind of put it like, we'll do it occasionally, but she's somewhat, I don't want to say she's single, but she's like a woman about the world. She's like traveling around.
That.
She goes wherever, does whatever. She works remotely. She's just like lives her best life. And we did a podcast together just in 2019. So it was amazing to have during COVID and connect with people. But I miss doing it with her so much because she is my best friend. We met at work, and one day she looked at me and was like, I want to start a podcast. I might start one with my friend in Newfoundland. And I was like, no. I'm in. Like, I am your girl. And we were actually at a bar here in Halifax, and the guys from a few of them from Spitting Chicklets were there. And we looked at it. I'm like, if they can do it, like we can do this. And then we just started. But I do really,
Where is she now?
She's here. She's in Halifax. She's around.
Get those stories on there.
I know. We need to like put our heads together and like kind of do a little relaunch, but I really wanted to start this because I missed connecting. I'm like you, Nat. I always like I can do a million things at once. Like it's just crazy. My brain needs to go, go, go.
Oh, by the way, so does she. I
Okay.
just, at the time, we had such babies that, like, and I was like maybe one baby ahead. So
Right.
even though there was a lot of kids, it was just like I'd been a mom for just that much longer that I was like, I just.
9 months longer.
So
Sorry,
experienced.
8 months later. It was though. It was so much more
It
experience
is.
because
Like weeks ahead
it
is a lot, right?
weeks ahead is huge. Yes, and you're
Um
like, is this right? Is this right? Because she was like, her kid was walking, and mine's like,
and but no, I miss just talking to people and being in the trenches. I was like, I don't know who this will help. There's so many podcasts out there in the parenting space, whatever. But I was like, I just need to do this to get these things off my chest. And I love creating things. So here we are. But maybe, Sarah and I will connect and maybe
Well,
relaunch.
we
I don't
live for
know.
those stories of people who are not married and
Oh my
mother.
gosh.
We live for
You know what?
that.
It would be like a good comparison of lives of like
Yes.
me moving to the suburbs, having my child married. She lives
Yep.
on the water.
Yes.
She literally lives like basically where I'm on the waterfront right now is where the studio is. And like just, she'll be
Ah,
in Thailand and Australia and Italy and
Oh,
like,
yes.
yeah. She's got to come home with stories. That's what just has to happen.
totally. Okay, a few more questions for you guys. What do you say to the moms who are listening who are just like having a really hard time? It doesn't matter if they have one kid, toddlers, teenagers, but they're just like, how I don't feel like I can handle much more and maybe are at a breaking point.
Oh my gosh. We have so been in that exact place. Just know that, because I felt like when it happened to me, I mean, it happened consistently for years, but there would be like harder moments and times. I had to remind myself that they pass, and there will be moments of like a lift, and feel those moments too, because it's really easy to feel the heavy ones. But when you have that lift and things for even just a moment feel good, look around and take it in and say, okay, these are the good parts, and there will be more in the future, and maybe in 3 weeks from now it'll happen again. And also like connect with other people if you can, whether if you can do it in person, that's great, but like sometimes it's refreshing just
help.
to like, oh yes,
Yeah,
and
just
get
ask
a babysitter,
like,
ask for help.
yeah, like if you're drowning, get help where you need, and like don't be afraid to talk to someone if you feel like it's more than usual, right? Like if you really are overwhelmed and you are feeling like desperate, go talk to someone and your doctor, and get a gauge of what's normal and what's not normal, and whatever normal is. But if you are day in and day out struggling, I think that is, you don't have to struggle alone. You don't have to struggle in silence. And I think that there's coping strategies, there's things that people can help you with. You don't have to just endure.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think it is so hard for people, let's say in this example, women to ask for help because I think part of it's because motherhood's been portrayed in a certain way. So when they feel like they are suffering or having a hard time or don't, they want to go back to work early and put their kid in daycare, like whatever it is, like why do you think it's so hard for people to voice that sometimes?
For me, there was like I can remember the two things. Number one, I didn't think anybody else could do it because I was doing it the way that I was wanted to do it. And I literally, like, if my mom took the baby for an hour, I had a sheet of paper to the minute of what to do
Same.
with my daughter.
And they come back and like smell differently, and you're
Yeah.
like, ew, why'd you wear perfume holding my baby?
But
You
they're
know,
also
and
like rolling their eyes like, come on, I've done this
yeah,
before.
Oh
you
my
are,
gosh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, my mom would just be like, okay,
Yeah.
and then like
Just
throw out
leave.
pieces of paper. And then the second thing, it's like it could be two things. It could be one, like you don't want to ask for help because you don't want people to think that like you're not capable of doing it. But then another one is like I never wanted people to like feel bad for me and like feel like they had to I didn't want people to think I
You
didn't
couldn't
want
handle it.
yeah, and I didn't want people to feel like sad for me or bad for me. So I didn't want to ask, but in the end, like people want to help, like someone who needs help. People love to help if you ask them.
Mhm. No, that's great. Great advice. Obviously you guys are together all the time. As you said, you're raising your children together. Your husbands have the same names. Like you guys are one big happy family. Have you ever had friends or other family members who have been jealous of your guys' dynamic or relationship?
Probably.
I think our husbands probably found it hard to like integrate because it was so flawless between us, and I think they were sort of like, where do I fit? Because we're a well-oiled machine, right? When someone goes to work all day and comes home, you flawlessly are able to figure it out, right? Like I would say my little one, I was actually thinking of this. She gets jealous of me, like she's protective of me. I remember there was a time when she was like, I don't want Natalie here. Remember she went through that phase?
After school?
Yeah, and I was like, it's because she just only, I mean, she was jealous of the dog too, okay, of the puppy. She used to get mad, like fight with the puppy. She's older now and it wasn't, but I remember the time when I was like, what's wrong with you? And then I was like, oh my God, you want just me. She would get rid of everybody just to have me. But I think it's just like, it's sharing, it's just understanding the relationship is not, there's no competition. Like I think most friends maybe in the beginning were like, what the hell?
But they were good enough for all of them, and it might have been like, it's really it's a real like a lot, but everyone's around us seemed to outwardly just be happy like for us and see that we were happy, and like our kids when the teachers
We were happy. Surfing was happy for us.
but like even like our kids, like in the beginning when the teachers would ask what does your mom do, like they would say my mom's help other moms, like they didn't know how to explain it.
We'd go on vacation and they'd be like, we have two moms, or they like in their like school week, we have two moms. And I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like when they were little. So, they've become better kids because of it. They've been raised with a bunch of kids. Like I think they are more well adjusted because they have 7 people in their lives that they have know their life with.
Have other moms at school or in your kids' friends group ever treated you guys differently because of what you do and how you put yourselves out there? No?
No, well, listen, we'll hear people who, like way back when. I feel like now people are like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, honest to God, I don't really like. If you don't have to like us. You're not gonna like. If you don't like everyone, I don't like everyone. We respect everyone. We don't like judge people, and I think it just comes down to, I tell my kids, we don't actually hate people like them, the kids. I'm like, you just might not have something in common with them right now. It's like maybe people don't have something in common with us and that's annoying, or they don't like us for whatever. Oh well.
And sometimes they'll be like, wait, is this isn't, or usually it's dads, and they're like, wait, this isn't going to be a conversation on your podcast, is it? And I'm like, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it will be.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, the men are the worst.
Oh.
They'll like screenshot something and send it. And I'm like, you actually had to go find that, just so you know.
Oh,
like
my
you
God.
went, you're following us so closely because there's a lot of content out there, and that's what you found.
Mhm.
Yeah, the dads are hilarious. They like get so insecure. Was she talking about like our team or us?
I'm like, everyone's the same. No one's that important.
It's
That's so
generic.
funny.
It's all you guys.
Yeah. Men in general.
Yeah. We're talking about you. So I love to talk about how women can still, or like moms, pursue their dreams, their passion, whatever it is in life that lights them up. Do you guys have any advice for women who are at home, or moms who have ideas or have dreams or aspirations, but feel like they actually can't handle anymore because they're so busy in the trenches of parenting?
I mean, I feel like if you can't handle more,
Don't
don't push it off the cliff. Just wait a minute, like you don't, because then if you're already feeling like you can't handle anything and you go to sleep at night and you feel guilty because you're feeling so overwhelmed, and then you throw more on. I think you can do something a little bit on the side.
Do what you like. Like you don't, do you have to do it, or do you want to do it? They're two very different questions. Do you have to work, or do you want to work? Do you have to start something? Do you want to start something? Right? Like really figure out what works for you. Some people feel like they have to, but they don't really want to. So do you want to or have to? Like what's the goal here?
Because I do also think that, like, I know this is like, might be not everyone agrees with this, but even when I had 4 babies and she had 3 days and we were at home and working, like, I do think that there is a space. There is a time that you can carve out and maybe it's that you have to ask for help, or maybe it's that, instead of like watching that show, and I think there is a little bit of time that you can take to do something that you love. And it might be half an hour, but it might just really fill your bucket. Maybe that thing is something you're trying to pursue. But I do think that if you really want it, there is some time for that thing.
Mm. Do you guys find it hard to have a work-life balance? I know you can kind of do things on your own or when you're together, but do you think you have a healthy balance with that?
Yeah, I think with that, like when you saw me rolling from the gym, like sweaty, am I in my perfect top? Absolutely not. Am I going to look at this video in 5 years? Like, what was I thinking? Probably, but like, you just can't overthink. And I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
that
Can't
you just
overthink
have
it.
to, I didn't, I wanted to work out. I had booked the class. I didn't want to be charged. I knew I could make it on time. So it's like, you just have to, let go of perfectionism. Am I presented exactly how I want to look? No. Do I care? Not really. Right. So it's like, you
Mhm.
have to find,
Balance is something that like goes like this all day long, all day long.
it's like water, just flows. You just
It
got to
just
flow with it.
just happens. Yeah, we're just riding that wave. Is
Yeah.
there anything specific or intentional that you guys do in raising your kids that is maybe similar or different than how you were raised? Like, is there something you're just like, oh, my parents maybe did this. I want to make sure. Like, nothing like we don't have to get deep and dark into your like childhood trauma or drama. But is there anything that you're like super cautious about that you're like, okay, I want to make sure I do X?
I don't think we think that deep. No, I don't. I
I feel
think
like I'm more like we had single moms. I feel like I'm more inspired by the way that she managed to do it. I have a partner. I have more I have more abundance of more stuff and things, and I'm more like, if you could do it like that, like
I'm good.
I can definitely do it.
No, I know. Sometimes I think I'm just in my head too much, even asking that question because I
Of
think
course.
about this stuff.
Yes, no,
no. I think
that's so
I
normal.
think it's normal. I think it's normal to like think about that. I just think that we don't have. It's just you go. Like they don't give you time. There's someone's calling me. One of them's calling me right now. You know what I mean? I'm like, there's no time. You're like, fire, fire, this, go here. Like you just go. You go. We go a million miles a minute.
No, I know. You're right. It just, I don't know. Don't overthink it, parents out there, because I think that that's kind of what leads to some of the negative thoughts or the hardships because you have these expectations when in fact you just need to kind of like go with it. And these are
Yeah.
good reminders. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm having a little bit of a therapeutic moment here.
Oh, good.
Okay, let's talk about some stuff that's new and exciting coming up. You mentioned you are coming to the East Coast, Moncton, on Thursday, the 21st of August, and then Friday, August 22nd. So tell us what we can expect and how people can join in on the fun.
First, we want to say that when we were like, we're going to do a couple of shows in Canada in the summer, it was really easy to decide exactly where we wanted to come because we've been before, and you guys, our East Coast is just so much fun. They know how to let loose, they know how to show up, they know how to just be like, create like a positive environment and the best night. And that's what we always wanted to do, is we wanted to go out, we want to have fun, we want to laugh, we want to feel like no judgment, we want to give everyone just like the
Permission to have fun.
and just like be with the people in the room and leave everything, like all those extra thoughts, like leave them at the door and come in, and we'll make sure that you have fun and that you feel like, a lot of people say when they leave the theater or the room, they just leave with this like really optimistic, positive, supportive feeling.
Reminder of like find time, find fun, find time, find like, remember, like this, we grind so hard all day as moms. I think we forget that we need to have fun too. Like otherwise your Monday through Sunday are just going to bleed into one, and you'll have no memories other than cutting off crusts and driving people somewhere.
And we play music and we tell the truth and we dance and we sing and we play games, and then it's just jam-packed fun, and then good night.
Good
Home by
night.
10.
Yeah, no, I went to your show. I don't know how many years ago. Was it like 3 years ago?
Yeah, I think we were there 2022. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it was a blast. There was some like male entertainment there. A lot of
I know, and we don't have them this year.
Oh, I'm sure you can find some.
Oh, girl, we have tried.
Okay.
Let me tell you, it is dried up over there in the East Coast.
Oh my gosh. Or they're like in some underground places we can't
I will go
access.
knocking on the door. Excuse me, we're looking for male. We should just recruit a bunch of dads to do it.
Was that
We should
someone
actually.
from like here locally that was there last time, or is that someone you like brought?
No, they used to fly with us, but
That was like a DJ or something, right?
our main guy,
He's a firefighter
he actually
now.
got a job
Even
as a
better.
firefighter.
Oh, okay. But
We're
that's
so happy for him.
Yeah.
nice. I mean, the ladies love a firefighter, I'm sure.
They do. They do.
Okay, and if people want to get tickets, you can do that on catandnat.ca
Catandnat.ca.
/tour. I'm going. I'll be there with a few of my friends. I cannot wait. And I think we're going to
Yay.
do a little giveaway. So this is going to come out. We'll have a good week to run that before the show. And I'm
Perfect.
so excited. I can't wait to see you guys there.
Yeah, I can't wait
I
to see you
can't
too.
wait. Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your summer and you'll have the biggest East Coast welcome when you guys come.
We can't wait. Thank you.
Yeah.